pledge allegiance, and I'll get where you stay standing for a moment.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Get a motion for the consent agenda. Motion to our second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public input, this is time and place for discussion items not already on the agenda, with the time limit of 3 minutes each. Discussion possible action in reference to approving grading bid for sports complex. So in front of you, you have two documents. They're stapled. One says Lisbon Sports Complex Phase 2 grading. The other one says baseball field, so we'll look at the baseball field one first. Lisa from YTT is here. And we, on our base bid, that's the top portion. Everybody has this, correct? The top portion is the base bid. So that's what has to be done this go around for the ball diamonds. The alternate down below would be everything north of there for the future development. After talking with Lisa and to a few of the contractors, they're going to have to utilize the north entrance up by the water tower to come down with some of the equipment. And there's going to be some compaction issues that they would be concerned about. So they suggest not doing the alternate grading at this time. The other reason would be too is it's already seeded down. So as you can see, the seeding in there, we're going to be putting $5,900 back into seeding after this whole thing is done, with the risk of probably having to grade it again later on anyway. So after the discussions, we decided that we're just going to, or we'd like to just move forward with the base bid. Lisa, do you want to go over this? Each one of these columns are an individual company that did the work. There's 3 pages there in front of you.
Hi everyone, Lisa Burke with YTT Design. So we actually had 11 bidders on the grading contract, which is a lot of bidders. So we're going to go with just doing the base bid. Out of those 11 bidders, the lowest on the base bid was Lynn Haven Land Improvement, and their base bid was $91,701 for the grading. And like Brandon said, we are going to probably make some changes to that due to how we need to coordinate it with the next phase of the baseball fields.
We're hoping that we can coordinate it so that they can leave and the next company comes in and starts, and we don't have to seed that area at all in the part that is graded. And also there's going to be some grading that we figured into here that is not going to need to be done. So this price will be cheaper than the $91,701, just because we're going to be doing less grading for the work. So in order to approve this though, everybody had to bid on these quantities and these amounts. So when she asked you, it's going to be not to exceed $91,701 for the base bid for the grading. And this will start, do you have that?
Yep. We're at council meeting today, March 10th. We anticipate if we go notice to award, which Brandon has documents, we can get contracts and everything in place and give them an April 1st start date, assuming weather's good and if they want to start, then they can. We have to have them done with substantial completion, which is July 15th, and that means they have to have all the grading done, but they don't necessarily have to have all their seeding work done. And then we need them completely done by July 22nd, so that the baseball contract can start shortly after. So they have until July for the grading project alone.
Okay, any questions?
All right, I need a motion for approving the grading bid.
I'll make a motion to approve the grading bid for Lynn Haven Land Improvements bid 91,701,
Not to exceed.
not to exceed.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, discussion possible action, reference to approving ball diamond bid for sports complex.
All right, same thing here. There's two companies that did this project. The front page, under MBA is the company that was the low bid. That's the column we'll be working off of. And then on the alternate page, we'll go over those. Also, if you look, this document here, the picture, that's field 1, field 2, and all of the, what I would call the gray area, which is concrete. That's the work that's going to be done during this first phase of this.
We don't have to, it's on tab.
It's on your tablet.
Sorry. Okay. You want to just go through the?
Yeah, so we're recommending taking the base bid from the lowest bidder, which was $601,937.50. The next bid up was over $723,000 for the base bid. Then we are going through and we've selected the alternates we want to take. We had several different alternates depending on how the bid numbers came in and how we could best fit this within the budget and the scope we need to get done. So when we looked at the first, which would be what we call the general alternates, we are going to take some of the items out of there and have them do that. We're going to have them put down, we're calling alternate item 30 and 31, which would basically is the rock underneath what would be paved in the future. It's under sub-base items, 4-inch and 6-inch. We're putting that down so that we can have, once they're done, they can have the field, everything built, the ball fields will be built, everything's in, and then there's going to be gravel down just to have like a working surface. But we actually are not going to have them do what we would call like the sidewalk paving and that drive coming up under this contract right now. Due to phasing, due to other things we have to get done, so we're pulling that. We're not going to select the actual paving by this contractor under this bid, but everything will be prepped for it. We may make some changes to that later, but that's what we're going to recommend for award on this. We are also having item 37 bleachers. We're going to have those accept their bid on that, and those are $27,000 a set of bleachers, so 2 of those for $54,000. And then we had 2 other alternates. We had to basically pick one or the other. Is what we had them as. We were going to go with a Shakopee, which is the really high-end infield material, and then we had an alternate to the Shakopee, which is called Anamosa Ball Diamond Line, and it's a locally available product. It's not to the level of Shakopee, but yet it is an acceptable baseball diamond field material. So we had those 2 alternates, and for this bid, what we're recommending for award is that we actually select the Shakopee from the actual amount here for the full amount, but we want to talk further later about possibly doing some sort of layered approach, maybe not full Shakopee, maybe 2 inches on the bottom, 2 inches on the top, but we can't really discuss that now. We have to accept the bid as it is, so we're recommending award of the full Shakopee infields. And then the other item that we have, which is another alternate, is we have to have a subdrain system for the fields. We had one system designed by Hydroway, and then we brought in another alternate, which is called a turf flow. It's a 2-inch diameter pipe versus this very specialized subdrain product. Well, the price difference was significant enough that we're going to go with the 2-inch turf flow. It was $160,000 for the Hydroway, and it was $111,000 for the turf flow. So we are recommending award for the turf flow subdrain system. So everything I just told you, all the choices we made and all the items we selected or did not select, the total ends up being $899,631.50 that we are recommending award for this to MBA.
For how much?
$199,631.50.
Just a little bit more with that. The paving she was referring to, you can see that's a big ticket item there. We're gonna be doing the paving in-house. I talked to Travis. We're also gonna get some volunteers to assist with that. So that will be done in-house after the project is done, so therefore we're gonna save money from having to bore underneath it. We'll get all the trucks and everything out of there, and then we will pave that as the last resort. We took the vinyl gates out as well, because we'll just put those in, have that same contractor that put the fence in, put those in when we're done.
We just want to clarify though, the fields and everything for the baseball fields will have all of their fencing
Yep.
put in. This would be more of just a full perimeter fence, but once again, we're not going to be ready for that probably, so we pulled the perimeter portions out.
And then we did pull the ball field lights. Only reason being is because the price that they quoted here would be for full installation, them doing all the work. That's almost 600,000 total.
Yeah.
We could, I'm hoping to work with Musco and do like we did before, where they provided some volunteers, and then we assisted them putting up the lights. So we're gonna pull those out for now, and I'm gonna work with Musco to get a price of what it would cost to go that route, similar to how we did the park. And also, like she said, with the Shakopee, I'm pretty confident that we can use a mixture, and it might even be cheaper line than the Animals Ball Diamond line. There could be lines closer that they felt comfortable with. So that price is gonna be reduced, but because of how the bid works, you have to accept this not to exceed. But I anticipate it will not be as, the end result will not be as high as what the price we submit to the grading.
I get that the base bid is less expensive than the alternative, versus than the other bidder, but the alternates, the general alternates are almost 100,000 cheaper, or over 100,000 cheaper. What's the story with that? I mean,
Well,
is the total with the options chosen with MBA still lower cost than the?
The biggest thing is in the Musco lights. That's where your 100,000 is, if you look at that.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because if you look at the bidder, it's Musco doing business as Iowa Turf Company, or Iowa
Sports turf.
Iowa
Yeah.
Sports Turf.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your $100,000 difference is in the lights, which is not what we're going to be purchasing anyway,
Right.
through either one of those.
Okay.
You said the bid was
899,631.50. And right now, our budgeted number is between, right at 1 million and 1.1 is what we're gonna have in there in this accounts once this is completed. And so I'm looking somewhere around 900,000 in that ballpark. 950 is where we should end up in total. And then that would leave us about 100,000 to 150,000 to work on at least one set of lights, and also work on some donors for a second set.
So that $899 includes the Shakopee and the 2-inch turf ball?
Yes.
Your motion, Jess?
Motion to approve the bid from MBA Ultra Inc. for $899,631.50.
See? Second. Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And they will start sometime around July 22nd. And the substantial completion on that is, I believe it's June of 27.
Substantial completion is November
November.
26th. Sorry, substantial completion, they're going to be allowed to start in July after the grading guys get done. And then we have substantial completion, which is like everything's in, but maybe the seeding's not done, or the seeding's not fully established, November of 26th. And then we are giving them all the way through June of 27, which would be like the following construction season, to finish up with seeding or anything that isn't quite done, to get the turf and stuff established. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Discussion and possible action in reference to Shelving project quote for Lisbon Library.
So, you guys should have the quote, and the board of the library has approved this. It is coming from the Howard and Phyllis Chiha grant that we have in our savings account. The total quote is for $21,000. That's for most of the work that's going to be done. There is some small amounts, like $1,000 remaining in an additional quote that we should be getting after they've drawn up the plans with the factory that's making the shelves. So I gave you guys a picture of what these shelves will look like. Travis is going to be able to tear out the existing shelves, and then they'll come in after that. It will probably be closed for a week to 2 weeks in September to get this all done. Any questions about those?
Any questions?
You guys have to approve this because that Sheol money is sitting in one of our accounts, so it's gonna be paid out of, their money is sitting in one of ours, so that's why it's before you guys.
And is that a separate budget amendment that we'll do later?
Yeah, so actually, I went ahead and scheduled the budget amendment, and that's later in the meeting that we'll schedule that to make all that.
Perfect.
Because if they don't get this done now and approved, the price of the shelves is going up.
$3,000.
So I want to get it done now, so.
Yeah, just as a side note, this Chiha money that's here, we're gonna be making a plan to start spending some of it on an annual, like each year we'll take some amount of it out. So I imagine that will probably get added to the budget amendment as well. I did just get a quote from a chef to come and do presentations this summer for like a cooking series, and so that'll be what the second piece of the budget amendment might include.
Need a motion?
Move to approve.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Discussion possible action in reference to payment to Alexis in the amount of $299,381.
So this is the payment for the chassis that arrived at Alexis, so they're starting to work on building the pump and all that fun stuff. So once our contract that you guys approved, as soon as the chassis arrives, we have to pay that money. So this is $200,000 was moved from lost into the general fund, so $200,000 of that's going to be taken out of there, and then the remaining will be taken out of the fire truck set aside, which will also be on the budget amendment to approve moving those monies as well. So we're going to pay that once that gets done.
What's the total price of the truck?
$649, I believe.
Got a motion?
Motion to approve the payment to Alexis.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Discussion of possible action in reference to purchasing new mule.
All right, Travis and I spoke to you guys at the budget meetings for Public Works about the John Deere Gator that is like 2008, I believe, and it's pretty well through its life. So Travis and I were discussing this, and we looked at the mule at the fire department. They have a Springland pump and tank that's in there. At the time, the fire department got that system, one, because it was significantly cheaper than a actual fire unit, but also the payload for that unit is 750 pounds, and you need at least 1,000 for any of the inserts. So Travis was looking at that, and that is, it's got garden hoses on it, and it's really designed for, it works for fire suppression, but it's also good for watering grass, graves, flowers, what have you. So Travis threw out the offer of just taking that unit off the fire department's hands as it is. It's got 50 hours on it. And so I presented that to the fire department, and they had a committee get together, and they went and did their research for a new mule. And they came back with a situation to save some money, and that was that quote in front of you from McGrath Power Sports, which is a leftover 24. They have one in stock. And as you can see, there's been significant reductions to that. It's $14,400 is what the fire department can get that unit for. If we wait until June or July, this unit may not be there, and you can see the price, $18,796, and that was for the 24. So I can only assume the 25s are going to be more expensive. So we met with the fire department. They gave the green light for this. Thought behind it is we're trying to be stewards of money and try to save $4,600. And then also, the new mule's got a payload of 1,000 pounds, so the fire department association is going to get a dual-purpose slide-in unit. It's going to be for fire suppression as well as a medical backboard. So that could go both ways. Right now, it's strictly fire suppression, and if you want to use it for medical, you got to take everything out of it, including the pump and all that. So I guess I'm happy to answer any questions. I just thought it was an opportunity to save $4,600. And then we're putting the newest stuff in for fighting fires instead of watering flowers, essentially. So up until the fire department has to order, if approved tonight, the fire department will order the slide-in unit for the back of the new mule. It's going to take like 7 to 8 weeks to get here. So in the meantime, that is going to be a dual unit. So our staff will use it for what we need it for. Summer kids show up. If it's still not in, they will use it until this new slide-in unit gets here. And it'll be stored here at the station, unloaded off the trailer, so it's readily available for anybody. Happy to answer any questions. Also with this, we will not need a budget amendment. I was able to get this out of numerous agents or departments that will be using this. We're taking it from minor equipment, and we can all absorb it in this year's budget.
Question, does the gator have any value? Can it be traded in, or is it, there's not anything Drayton can do with it next couple summers from now?
No, it's actually the frame's rusted out of it.
Okay.
It's just been,
We don't even
it
want to
doesn't
auction it off?
No, it doesn't owe us anything, so.
Okay.
Need a motion. So the plan is, with that unit, they're going to pay the fire association $17,000, 14,400 obviously for the unit, and then the pump, essentially $2,500 roughly for the pump, $2,600. Which I know that we couldn't build that for that now. Also, the company that built that system that's in there is no longer in business, so we'd have to shop that out. Any motion?
Sounds like a pretty good deal. Well thought out. I'll make a motion to approve the purchase.
Got a motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Set public hearing for budget amendment number 3 for fiscal year 25 on April 13th, 2025.
This again, just is to trade that money around from accounts.
Motion?
So moved.
A motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading of ordinance 01, 2025, water rates.
Motion to approve the second reading.
Motion approved, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That roll call. Ordinance?
It is. John?
Aye.
Lee?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Thank you.
Second reading of ordinance 02, 2025 sewer rates.
Motion to approve the second reading.
A motion and a second.
Second.
Nate?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Resolution 09, 2025 property liens.
That's for 403 North Jackson Street for utilities, $204.98.
Need a motion?
So moved.
A motion and a second.
Second.
Kevin?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Nate?
Aye.
Resolution 10, 2025 hazard mitigation resolution.
So I've been working with Lynn County in reference to their hazmat or multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. We had our Lisbon meeting in October of '24. Basically, we took everything from our hazard mitigation plan, presented it to Lynn County. They formed a joint multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. I will send you the link that you can go in to read the 518 pages if you'd like. However, this is from 2025 to 2030, and it's a requirement for us to be eligible for any type of grants associated with hazard mitigation. So there's a resolution there for us to approve. Any changes that are made will not affect our portion of that. It will just be over their portion. So that's pretty much all I have.
Your motion?
So moved.
Motion, a second.
Second.
Nate?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Correspondence?
I seen an email or a letter there from a resident in reference to the cemetery. I have talked to the tree board previously, and we're still trying to get a plan put together on what we want to do in between the trees and the cemetery. So I will get with the tree board and have further discussions on what they would like to do out there. That's all I have. Correspondence?
Good engineer report.
I don't have anything to report this evening, but available for questions.
Any questions for Dave? Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Public Works.
We started last week, and we're gonna continue filling potholes. It's the time of year where if they're not dry, the patch isn't gonna stay in there very well and very long, so just tell people to bear with us. We're also still trying to hammer out street signs. Most of the frost is out of our way, and working on, we've had a couple meters that were the old manual reads, and Marcia has been getting us appointments in there to get those switched out. So.
Any questions, Travis? Parks and Rec.
Just a couple things. Basketball's finished up. Registrations for spring soccer ended on Friday. So we will be starting spring soccer at the end of the month here out at the sports complex. Along with that, I'm still working on sponsorships for the 8 fields that we're going to have out there. I've got 2 acquired, and I've got 6 more to go. So I'm hoping to have those finalized by the time we start playing games out there. I am enrolled in an EMR class for the fire department. I talked with Brandon, and he thought it was a good idea since I work in town. And I go on quite a few of the calls, so I'm working on that. Easter event meeting on Wednesday to figure out plans for that. It's going to be sometime in April, so I will let you guys know at the next meeting. I had a request for field usage, baseball and softball this morning. It was overwhelming to say the least, but we'll make it work and get all that figured out. And then the last thing is a spring cleanup. I'll be scheduling a spring cleanup for the parks and ball diamonds sometime either at the end of this month or early April. And that is all I have.
Any questions for Dave? Library.
So we have spring break activities coming up next week. We'll have a drop-in jigsaw puzzle competition all throughout spring break week. And then we will have a family bingo event on Thursday at 1 o'clock. We are going to have Starlight Yoga come in and do a dance movement therapy story time on Friday at 10 a.m. And then we're going to partner with Southeast Lynn to do a craft and create event on let's see, I think that's going to be on Wednesday. So that'll be the 19th. I don't have the time for that yet. And then we had our first Signature Saturday event on Saturday this week. We had an Iowa Writers Workshop attendee come and lead a writers workshop for Lisbon. That was, we had 6 people show up, and then our next one will be Saturday, April 12th with Ed Fallon. He's going to come from Des Moines to do a piano concert, and he'll talk about his urban farm. And then we'll have a tea event on Saturday, May 10th. That's the second Saturday of May. So we're trying to do an adult program on the second Saturday of each month. That's all I have.
Any questions? Please, swear.
Any questions you have reference to the police report, I'm happy to answer those. I do want to take a moment and express my extreme gratitude to the communities of Lisbon and Mount Vernon during our tragic loss of our canine monster. The time and energy spent searching was definitely needed and essential to the recovery of monster. There was a major house fire going on in the morning as well, so I know both of our fire departments were impacted by that. And then the reality is that with Drayton's assistance, we found monster in the pond over in Willow Lane there pretty quickly in the morning once daylight broke. His commitment to that, and I told Drayton personally that I think most responders would have probably drove by when he saw it, but he did not, and he got out of his truck and he looked a little further and he investigated a little further, which helped us. So I can't say kudos enough. Both fire departments, Mount Vernon and Lisbon, collaborated on the quick recovery. Once we had him located, he was out of the water quickly and taken care of and brought home from that standpoint. So driving around Lisbon while we were coordinating searches and stuff like that, there were cars everywhere, people in the cars and everything else. So the community response was tremendous. The public support between Mount Vernon and Lisbon and for the officers, and they are seeing it, they are hearing it, which is important for them as well to recover from that. But I just want to thank council and thank the mayor and Drayton and fire departments. The collaboration we have in mutual aid is important.
Any questions for Doug? Ambulance.
So we're staying plenty busy, still averaging 2 to 3 calls a day. Some days are quite a few more than that. Do have 3 that are finishing up paramedic school, so they should be done by the end of May. We have 2 more that just started in, so they're up for 18 months of a lot of work ahead of them. We are doing a recruitment drive right now. We currently have about 5 good candidates, but we'll put out a little bit more information through social media, hoping to have them start in April to account for the college students that we are losing this year. So trying to backfill the ones that we know are going to depart and kind of move on. So any questions that I can answer for you all?
Any questions?
Thanks. Thank you.
Fire chief.
One thing's come up here lately is the burn ban. Currently, we are under a burn ban for about half hour yet. Any time that a red flag warning is issued, Lynn County is automatically under a burn ban for that length of time. So today, I believe it was from noon to 8. So at 8 o'clock tonight, the burn ban will be lifted. So if anybody asks, that's what that's about. I did put it on the message board outside today to signify that. So if there's some confusion, if there is one and there isn't, or we were under one and now we're not, that's why. Usually the red flag warnings are for a short period of time and then that's it. So as always, people can call me with any questions with that. March 22nd, we have our St. Patrick's Day fundraiser dance out at Tin Roof. So encourage anyone looking for something to do to come out that night. And that is all I have fire related.
Questions, fire chief? City administrator?
Tomorrow, or correction, Wednesday, will be our second meeting for our 150th planning for the Sisquo Centennial. Hoping to lock down some ideas. Right now, tentatively, the plan is just kind of have a week-long sauerkraut days event. So basically, starting the Sunday before, just have different activities each night. There was a wide range of topics that were discussed for different ideas for different events each night. So they're probably going to go down that line, which I think is great, just so that way we're not burning people out with multiple different weekends throughout the summer. So I'll have more information on the next one at the next council meeting once we figure out those activities. But a pretty good group of people that showed up for that first one, so hopefully we get the same this Wednesday. Been meeting with the contractors out at Fairway. They're getting all the permits in line to start the work out there. So you'll start seeing probably some significant activity in that area. Dealing with some nuisances, those always kind of start up again this time of year, once the snow melts. There's several people I've contacted this week. Been helping Christina with the budget. Next meeting, reminder, is a 6:30 meeting. It's that special, 15-minute meeting that we have to have prior to the council meeting. So that'll be the next one, our next council meeting. Done a lot of work for the sports complex, meeting with Lisa, meeting with contractors. Started the discussions with Drayton on different fundraising activities that we could be doing, and starting to get a plan and work on the plan for once the diamonds are built, how we're going to facilitate scheduling and all that. And then just want to thank the guys. The pavilion is about 99% finished. There's a couple items they have to do. Electrician, he's got to come back and finish the outlet covers and do that type of stuff. But great job by our public works staff, and again, just cost saving measure by doing some of that stuff in-house. That's it. Any questions?
Questions for Brandon? Christina?
Last Tuesday, I attended the local leaders day up at the Capitol and met with several of our legislators. A lot of talk about property taxes, obviously. Otherwise, just working on the budget and the budget amendment.
Anything for Christina? Nathan?
Done everything this week.
John?
There's a lot of programs at the library and Southeast Lynn, so I encourage people to go to the social media sites and take advantage of those programs. Also, thanks to all the people that participated in the search for Monster.
Evan?
Just the public works guys that taking the shelves out of the library and whatever it was you were going to do on the field. Keep up the good work on doing that stuff. It's normally not in your wheelhouse or whatever. I mean, that's saving the city a lot of money. I don't know that many other cities would probably do that, but if they were. And Doug, you sure you don't want to stick around for the week-long?
I'm pretty sure. We can talk.